Warning: the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Straight facts, love it, I hate that. If we said it, then we meant it, we can't take it back. Lo siento. Sorry, but I ain't sorry. Sorry, but I ain't sorry. Lo siento.
Hey, what's going on? We're kicking off with another episode of Lo Siento, episode number 6.
Sir.
This one is actually a different episode. It's not as controversial as we always make it. This one's more about on the topics, basically music. We got basically two, I like to say, I don't know, underground artists or inspiring artists, you know, up and coming artists.
Yet to be discovered, sir.
Yet to be discovered.
Call it that one.
All right.
I never like
yet
that
to
term
be
underground.
discovered.
Yet to be discovered.
I never like the term underground. You know, underground to me sounds like, you know, it sounds a little.
It's like
I don't
you're
know, just- I don't
underneath a
like that
subway
lyrics.
station humming show tunes or something.
Yeah, you're under there with your guitar and you're playing to the rats, like
Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Ricky Rhythm. You know, our
Yes,
basically,
sir.
my co-host, me in it, but he's going to be on a little bit of guest day. And I got Cody X. What's going on, man?
What
my
up?
friend,
What up? What
my
up? What up?
friend, my neighbor, you know, my boy. I thought I'd bring him
Known
on the
me
show.
for quite a minute though.
Yeah, I knew you for quite a while. Yeah, we
Nice,
know. I
that's
mean, yeah, we know him. You know, but I think 45 minutes is too little for it to get into it. But anyway, so what's going on, man? How you been? I know he's celebrating his birthday today.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get into touch bases on, you know, just I want to just give him the tip. I don't want to give him the whole thing. You know, we're just the tip today. You know,
That's it. Yeah. Enough.
I'm a little excited. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
I
what
wanna
Enough to
she
get
ask-
him
said.
excited. I was gonna say that. You took the words out of my mouth. Enough to get him excited. Yeah.
that's just want more. Then we get another part. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with you, Cody, because you know it's been in the making. We've been trying to get a hold of you. You know, you got good head and shoulders. Your songs, you know, they're good too. You got some good beat. You do beats and stuff. So I want to ask you, like, what inspired you to become a I'm not gonna say underground artist because we all know how I got chewed on about that. Beat up. I feel like I beat up in a corner. But what inspired you to become a untouched, sought out talent? Yeah.
Well, see how it started was when I was about probably 8 or 9 years old. Every time I heard a beat, I always had to drum to it or try to rap to it or something. And my mom looked at me at the time. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna be a rapper." She goes, "Yeah, okay." I was like, "No, I'm serious." She's like, "Okay, whatever you say." I was like, "No, I'm being serious, Mom. Like, for real, for real." She's like, "Well, all the music you listen to, I guess." Well, it started off with listening to a little bit of Eminem, Kid Rock. Then I stumbled across Upchurch, Adam Calhoun, Tom McDonald. He's pretty good. But see, rap today, all these other people, like, not trying to make diss tracks or nothing like that. But my thing is, everyone's talking about the same thing. They're talking about cars, bling, girls, guns, whatever. I'm talking about things I've done in the South, things that I've, you know, it's kind of like writing a book on how I progressed up to where I'm at now. Which,
Right.
in other words, but yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory in my music. I'll walk outside so that way I don't wake anyone up. But anywho,
No problem. No problem. So I mean that's
But,
good. Like I said, I knew you for a while, and I said I've listened to your stuff. And as you know, like I do promos and stuff, so I have used some of your stuff, and you know whatever. But also Ricky Rhythm, he's also He does his beats and stuff like that. How did you he like, just like Cody X said, he was inspired basically since he was a kid about just sounds and just little stuff. He heard beats, he was into it and stuff like that. And he wants to, he's inspired by different music. Like he's inspired not by today's rap, which honestly, and this might sound controversial right now, but I think today's rap is garbage. That's just me. I still listen to rap back in the day. I mean, I just listened to P Diddy and Keisha Cole today in my car, and I blasted it. Okay, that goes to show you my age. But it's whatever.
Me too. You know what it is about music? Music is generational. If you come from a certain generation, the chances are the next generation's music is not going to really be of your taste because it changes. But it always comes right back full circle. I don't know if we'll be able to see the day that it comes back to where we were at, but it's generational, It's just something that needs to be understood when it comes to music. And it goes with all music. Hip hop right now, it's dominating every genre. You got hip hop in country, you got hip hop in everywhere. You know what I mean? Rock, pop music.
You got hip.
And vice versa. Yeah, vice versa. You got rock and hip hop, rock and country. Rock. So everywhere they all dominate anywhere.
Yeah, I remember.
You got a little bit of extra.
Yeah.
I remember when hip hop and rock were just two separate entities, and they would never collide. And now it's like it's a collaboration that's it's happening all the time, and it's a good thing, in a sense. At the same time, the music has been generalized, and that's what bothers me about music is that there is no separation of the genres anymore.
Right. It's like a lot of my friends. Oh, my bad, bro.
No.
A lot of my friends. A lot of my friends, they're like, dude, why don't you get signed to a label? Why don't you get signed to this person? I'm like, well, that's not what I'm going for, because I got signed to one label a long time ago, and that broke me from dealing with record labels. Like, I'll talk to them, I'll say hi to them or whatever, but when it comes to doing business, I want no parts of it, because
shit, not me, man. Yeah, go ahead.
But like this one record label I had, they were like, as I would say, a up and coming record label, and I was the only one putting stuff out, and I was the only one putting the work in, and I was the only one doing shows. I was the only one doing this, doing that. Then all of a sudden, I would get phone calls 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That'd make my old lady mad. Till one day, my old lady had enough, and she picked up the phone. She's like, "All right, he's trying to sleep. He does have to work in the morning, and he don't have time to deal with y'all he said, she said stuff." Because my thing is, when I put out a certain song, apparently it struck a nerve, because I told him, I said, when y'all discovered me, I want to make my point across to y'all that, hey, like, the show is Los Siento. In other words, sorry I brought it up, but I'm not sorry.
There you go. Right.
Because in one of my songs, like, Don't Press Your Luck, almost like I was telling Eddie, I almost lost my voice doing that song, because I came home, I had a bad day from work.
Yeah.
I was like really aggravated till one day I was like, you know what? I got something for them. And that's when Don't Press Your Luck came out. And it's on Spotify, it's on Pandora, it's on Apple iTunes, it's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
Hit him with the plug. There you go.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, then, I had got signed myself to a label. I won't speak their name, but I know you said you say hi to them. But we got smoke. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking
about. We got smoke. I made diss tracks to them and everything, and then I fortunately I actually parted ways with them. But that's a whole different story right there.
Right, like one time, the dude that owns the label, he tried to hit me back recently when I put out Mouse Creek Road. Eddie's heard that one.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put it out, they all of a sudden want to be my friend again. And I was like, now, how does that make sense? Like, y'all want to talk smack to me, and all of a sudden talking about, where, dude, I don't care if you know where I live or not, bro. I mean, that ain't no thing to me. But my thing is, if you're going to talk trash about me, bro, then how you expect me not to lash back out at you or laugh at you, because I'm not, as we say down south, we're not adding fuel to the fire.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, I rap about trucks and, in the woods and stuff like that. I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But at the same time, some people don't understand, like I have respect for any rapper that's trying to make it or trying to grow up in the industry, but at the same time, I'm not going to be no one's puppet, and neither should they.
Right. Right. That makes a lot
I
of sense.
mean, that's the like one of my songs got took down. I was telling Eddie about this. One of my songs got took down called "The American Way," where I'm talking pure shit about the government, saying how they're coming up with all these conspiracies, all these he said, she said genre thing, blah, 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 blah. Till one day I just brought it to light, and apparently I struck a nerve with somebody. And
Yeah.
I brought it right back up, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Then when Eddie told me about his podcast, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
Yeah. Time to talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
And that, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, like I said, you're more than welcome to come on. When we talk about all this stuff, it doesn't matter to me. Like I said, you don't just have to be about music. I just thought
and you gotta have tough skin. I mean, I'm meeting you for the first time now, but we sometimes say some things that might strike a nerve. So you gotta have tough skin. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying we don't we talk about whatever comes to mind, and that's why
because
it's so simple. We don't care, like
yeah,
you want.
like I was raised up, like I listen to some Mexican hip hop artists as well, and where my sister back in Tennessee, she's like, I'm gonna teach you Spanish. And I'm like, well, that's gonna come in handy because some of the shit I listen to, I wouldn't even know what the hell they're saying. Like I
But it
used to
sounds
be.
good though. That's the thing.
It does.
Good,
it does. It does. Like some of it, has a good beat and the way they flow into it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I can. Then like when Grim Reaper first came out, that's when everything took off because as soon as I dropped it, like as soon as I put it out there, boom, Eddie hits me up. Hey yo, can I use this? I was like, shit, that was fast.
check. There's that. Again, I guess you could call it round two with Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem. Did you hear? Yeah. Did you hear that new one that they did? Another rap that they did. It was Eminem. It was Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem. He was talking about how Eminem waited since 2012. He dissed him and waited like about 6 to 8 years to respond.
That's not. That's not new.
I remember. I'm just saying. I'm talking about like the raps like that. Like Machine Gun Kelly's like basically me. I consider him like new breed. Like
he's dope. He's dope though. He's dope.
No, I'm not gonna sleep on him. Yeah, I'm not asleep on him.
He's dope.
But do you actually think? I mean, I can listen because he kind of crosses the line. Like, who's a good one right now that just talks about like garbage but gets paid millions of dollars? He got Skittle, Color Rainbow.
6ix9ine.
Yeah, 6ix9ine. I think that's trash. I think honestly.
But he says himself he's trash. He knows he's trash. It's just that he got an image that he could sell that people are interested in. They want to know what he got to say, and he's making shockwaves with things that he does.
But see, just like he knew that he was
I don't
snitch.
like you though.
Yeah, but just like he was a snitch, right? So he's admitting to the fact that he's garbage and he's a snitch, and yet people still buy into his crap. So what does that mean about today's society?
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
They got
reverse psychology.
but yo, they have old Italian mobsters and other mobsters that they snitched and people are still interested in their story.
Right, but
they don't sign them off and
I'm just talking about let's just say let's say I'm not really into music, whatever. I'm not that I'm not into it, but I'm not really, that's not my cup of tea. Let's say I rap something and I said, yo, this shit's gonna be garbage, and I tell everybody, I'm like, I don't care what you say, this shit is garbage. Throw it in the toilet, and then people still be like, you know what? And they accept it. They still buy my stuff, even though I say it's garbage. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say about. What is that? That's a reflection of what you are. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What you do is what you are.
If you can accept that it's garbage and know that the community is accepting it, and it's garbage, then you did your job.
That's what I'm saying, though. But what does that go to say? The people actually have any taste anymore in anything.
You know what the thing is?
None of us. He's just saying what people want to hear. Like it's more like, okay, I'm gonna say this about such and such. Then all of a sudden, I'm gonna make a diss track about so and so because 6ix9ine's cousin, Trap Murder 7, I know him. And I stumbled paths across him one time with one of my old friends, and I hit him up, and I was like, yo, check this out, He checked out one of my tracks. He goes, never heard anyone rap like that before. He says, are you like that one Southern rapper, blah, 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 blah? He says, because I'm an artist. And I was like, okay, what's your point? He goes, well, I'm going from artist to artist and I'm going to whatever. And like, I hit him up and I said, so what'd you think of that song? He says, pretty good. And I said, well, I'm going to let you in a little secret. You go to steal my stuff. I said, you're going to have a problem. He's like, what do you mean? I said, my stuff's protected. It's copyright. I said, but Eddie has a license thing to where I can send him stuff or whatever and let him use my stuff, which I don't care. Like, you can use it all you want to. And, like, one of my friends, they're like, dude, I want a mixtape. 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 And I was like, all right. So I made one. And when I made my first mixtape is when I started selling them. I was like, not very many people sell CDs anymore. It's all internet, MP3, iPod, whatever. But I choose to push the envelope and just make CDs as, you know, as many people as needing them. And I make that many for that day. When I sell out, I go re-up and back at it again.
Right. That's good. I mean, that's good. That's it. That's the hustle. Like, you, Ricky Rhythm, how did you get your music across? See, he says he just does it on CD and stuff. How do you get your music out there? Like, what you want to?
You mean release? How do I release my
release music? It? Like, how do you go about it? Like, do you go to like you said? Okay, you said you go to like little clubs when they have little open mic nights, and you do your little thing. So that's
not a little thing. It's a big thing. I get in there.
I
it's a start.
Do your little thing. But what I'm saying is, I mean, like, how do you advertise yourself? You know what I mean? Everybody advertises themselves different, and like you coming from the city, you know, it's a harder thing to do because everybody's trying. You know, everybody's trying to make it. You know what I mean? And it's not because you can't do it. It's because the amount of people that want to do it. There's more people obviously in the city than there is in the in the state that we're in. You know, so you know, it's how do you try to go above the rest?
Well, that's the thing. It's not an easy task because especially coming from a city like New York, you know, it becomes like, you know, the regular saying, crabs in a barrel. You know, everybody's trying to make it to the top, and that's the one thing that differentiates the South from, you know, from like the East Side. I've ran across a few artists in the past that are from the South, and they show each other love. They jump on each other's tracks. They shout each other out. You know, and that gives everybody a leg up on each other because it's like, if I have this amount of fans and you have this amount of fans, we put them together. Now we got double the fans. In New York, people are not like that. Everybody's trying to do their own thing.
Right.
So to differentiate yourself from the crowd, you know, sometimes you have to do something that's extreme. And I'm not an extreme type of person. You know what I'm saying? I am who I am. I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. Like,
you ain't gonna change for nobody. Yeah.
Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna just do me. You know, if I get lost in the mix, and I get lost in the mix, it is what it is. I'm gonna do what I got to do to get myself out there, and I'm satisfied with what I can do as long as I do it at my fullest potential. But you know, times has changed. You know, I've been doing this for 22 years. Like, real talk. Like, I've been on big stages. I've been on small stages. I've rubbed shoulders with big names, and I've been with, you know, local artists. I've been around. So I know from the beginning of time when, you know, like the CDs and, you know, hitting the block and trying to get people to buy a CD and, you know, passing out for free even just to get somebody to listen to it, to the USB sticks, to, you know, to now social media. You know what I mean? I'm not big on social media, but when I do, and I do have something I want to release, that's what I would do. I mostly just get it, you know, to the point where, because the thing is, you don't want to be a localized artist. You know, if you really want to do this seriously, you want to be broad. You want to expand. And coming from New York,
you want to,
like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I love my city, but I wouldn't want to blow up here. I would want to go maybe overseas or, like, you know, even in another state, because I was actually I had music playing in Nova Scotia. I'm like, what? Because I had a demographic. There was a site.
That's cool.
There was a site that would show where your music is playing the most at. I could put you on the links and all that if you want to know about that. It's a DJ site, and after a certain amount of time, when they collect your statistics, they'll show you where your music's playing the most at. And I had music playing in Nova Scotia. I had to zoom all the way into the map to see the damn island. I was like, yo, this shit is in the middle of nowhere. I was like, how do you even get here? People were playing my shit there, bro. I was like,
gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere.
So yeah, man,
That's a start.
Nowadays, man. Yeah. So basically just social media in 2022. That's the way to go about it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is like you said, thank God for stuff like that. Like you have YouTube and you have Facebook and you have all this stuff that actually could expand your horizon. So it's not like you're stuck in one area of never being heard. Now the platform and everything's there for you. Now it's your job to go and do the work. I mean, that's the best part of it. The best part of it
can be.
Like, think about it. It's not no East Coast, West Coast stuff anymore, because you're not strictly on the West Coast anymore.
You can actually pick where your music is being played at.
Exactly.
You can actually pick it.
And that's the point. And that's what's good about. Just think of the advantages that we would have had back in the day if you had, let's say Tupac, right? And then Tupac, let's say he had the advantage. He never died or got shot or whatever, but he had the advantage that we have now with social media. And so he blew up on his own without that stuff. But can you imagine if they had the platforms like TikTok and all that stuff? How big people get? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
But at the same time though, the way I see it is that when back in those days, you were fed what they were giving you. Nowadays, you can look for it. So who's to say that he would probably fall from that pedestal if he reached people on his own? Because people would probably have other options. If you don't have options, you go with what's given to you.
Well, that's true. That's true, and that's another thing that you said. There's a lot of people that people like. Okay, let's say somebody like I don't know. Have you heard of Bad Baby or Bad Barbie or whatever it is? Have you heard of it, Eric? Okay, anyway, she's from
Don't throw my government out there, son. No, call me by my first name, man. My name's right there.
Oh God, let's not go. No, but seriously, have you heard? Anyway, she's somebody who, she was on. What's the name? She was on a talk show.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil. Okay, so she got big. She's not.
She's smart for that.
She's not bad though. She's not bad. I've seen some of her thing. She's not bad, but she used the platform. She used the platform to expand, and nobody would know who she is. After that show that she made with Dr. Phil,
Catch Me Outside.
She would have been nobody after that. If
she'd have been nobody.
It would have stopped right there. But now they got social media that she can keep going. And you're right about that. You're right about the whole feeding, the whole situation about feeding.
Yeah.
But do you actually like that's a good question. Now, do you actually think that some of our rappers, right, that we grew up with, some of the local rappers that are really, really good, there's some really good out there that are could be probably better than some of the ones that we was fed back in the day?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's like you know what they say? I forgot what I don't know if it was Jay-Z or Jadakiss that said, I can't remember. They were like, I think it was Jadakiss. He was like, why is the man why is the man in prison? Why can he ball better than Jordan, but he never got that break?
Yep, I know. Yep, he didn't have a break.
You feel me? Like
because there's no exposure.
No. You know what I'm saying? Word up, that's the problem.
Exposure, but now you think there's too much. Now, okay. Question for you, Cody. Exposure. Do you think that there's such thing as too much exposure? I'm not talking about in personal life. I'm talking about too much exposure by having too many people that do the same exact thing.
I see where you're coming from. There's like a lot of copycat people. It's like people come up to me constantly. I'm not like copycat. I'm not saying copycat. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like too much exposure. Well, it'd be like it'd be kind of a little rough because you'd be trying to walk out on your doorstep and go check your mail or say hi to your next door neighbor and a bunch of paparazzi or something just coming at you because you overly exposed. I mean, you want to be comfortable, but at the same time, you don't want everyone to know that the last time you flicked a booger into your yard, or the last time you smoked a cigarette, or the last time you took a fart in the back of your pickup truck. I mean, you don't. I mean, you don't want it to be like.
TMZ be sitting in the back of your car seat just waiting, like,
yeah.
Cody just flipped a booger, ping, 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 and they
that's a big one too.
They're like, I think Cody might be running out of money. He had a fake steak yesterday. I can smell it. That he had. You know?
Did he just went from charcoal to gas?
Find out tonight if he got it anymore. No, but seriously, like, okay, now, Ricky.
Yo, what's up?
What I'm saying is, okay, Ricky, now a question for you is about kind of like the exposure, but if everybody can do the same thing, how is it for you to be depicted from how your graft could be better than somebody else if everybody's getting the same exposure that does the same exact thing, that you can't be picked out of a crowd? You know what I mean?
One word.
That's why you try to stand out.
Yeah,
marketing.
There you go.
That's the only word that we can use there, because here's the thing: if I have two people next to me and we're all like, let's say we're leveled out when it comes to our creativity levels and our music sounds, good enough, and we all feel like we have the same abilities, we all have the same potential, but I have more better marketing than you. These guys are gonna get blown out the water. They're gonna be in my shadow. So
what you're saying is it's whoever gets to the finish line first.
No, who got the most money?
But whoever's got the money's got to be there first, because let's say somebody's exactly like you, the same carbon copy, does the same exact shit you do. The only thing that that makes you better than another person, like you said, is the money. You did it first.
In the eyes of the public, I'm better, but in reality, we are all of the same.
Right.
But actually, I could be worse than him or him. But the thing is, if I got the money to put behind myself, I automatically become better in the eyes of the public, because we talking numbers. We are described by the numbers that we're able to pull in. You know what I mean? So that's the thing that sucks about it, because in this day and age that we're in right now, it's no longer about talent. The talent has been, this. We all know this. We've heard artists that are terrible, but you heard the same guy. I heard the same guy. That said something that's reaching us.
Right.
But they're terrible. But you know what it is? Somebody's putting money behind them. Even if they're putting money behind them as a joke, like, this guy sucks. But he sucks so much that everybody's gonna love him.
He gonna make me profit though.
That's the thing.
Everybody loves controversy. Nobody loves
money. Talk.
I think this world right now, I don't care if you, let's say there's not gonna be another Michael Jackson in the world. This guy could be the best in the world. But the point I'm at is
we already have one, but
controversy is cash. No, I mean, hey, a person rather see somebody screw up than somebody actually make it. The person that screws up is gonna probably be more popular than the person that actually makes it. Look at
like these island boys.
No, yeah, exactly. These island boys. Okay, they got no skills whatsoever. When it comes to rapping, I can't even stand to listen to them. But people tune in to make fun of them. People tune in to give them a headache. People tune in.
Why do you know them? Why did you look them up? Probably for that same reason.
Or you can hear about it too. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, they show up on my FYP page constantly for no reason. Right. I can flip.
But eventually you end up getting a little curious.
Well, you have to stop to look. Yeah, you have to see why the hell what the person said this, or why.
So what does that tell you? That's it. That goes right back to what we were saying as far as like having things fed to you and pushed in your face.
Right.
They're pushed in our faces because that's what the labels are doing. That's what the people that standing behind them are doing. They
advertise.
You'll never see the man behind the camera, but the man behind the camera, he's like a Suge Knight. He's pushing. He's putting pressure. He's putting on people next. He's like, you listening to this, and they're gonna put money behind it, because even to put on the FYP page on TikTok, you can put money behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just.
I haven't go inside. I'm not done yet. Go inside. Close that. My bad, guys. Yeah.
That's all good, man.
To me, it's more, like I said, it's more people like to see a lot of drama than a lot of people actually making it in life. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, think about this. A lot of musicians that are dead now, right? They still make more headway than people who are alive. Yeah. Just by the way they died, or just by the story that they tell. I mean, hell, Tupac's still selling records, brand new. Tell me how he's still selling brand new records.
Because he's out in Cuba. He's out in Cuba screaming thug life.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying,
doing it.
I'm just saying.
Website.
Yeah, he out there in
But
Cuba, wherever he's at. I mean, this story, that's another controversial issue that we could talk about on another episode. But yeah, I mean, I've heard people that like there's a certain artist that sounds just like Tupac, and he's over here talking about
well,
shit going on today.
well, there's a guy actually that and there's a video out there that he was in dreads. Like he was a short dude, because Tupac was a short dude, right? But he was in dreads. He was in
I
dreads,
forgot
and
his
he
name.
was
I know
actually.
you talking
I
about.
saw
You know
that
what I'm talking about,
video.
right? You see that video? That looked just like him. I don't care what anybody said, dude. That was that. I mean, he did the everything that with
Even the
wrong side of
handshake
it.
was the
the
same.
hashtag everything. Yeah, the hashtag everything. I mean, it was crazy. But see, and that's the thing. The thing about it is,
I'll be right back, guys. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
I no problem. The thing about it is like, okay, in the music industry, right? Okay,
Right.
there's a lot more to it than just singing and just trying to get your beats up and trying to get your fan base. There's a lot of
There's a
hard
lot
work.
more to it.
A lot of people, I mean, it's a craft. A lot of people think that they can just get up and one day become a rap star or can one day become
No.
an NBA star. It's a lot of work you put into
Which
it.
one?
And
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
feel-
because when I first started
No.
rapping, I sound like a cat choking on a mothball in the side of an alleyway somewhere. Like I was, man, I sound like Takashi 6ix9ine trying to do a circle jerk with Iron Man and the Terminator in the JFK tunnel. Like it was horrible. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, what am I doing? And I'm sitting there trying to make things sound good, but at the same time, I'm like, nah, man, I got to be true and loyal to myself. I can't be talking about what other people talk about. I need to talk about my own stuff. Like I need to
right.
talk about things that I've done, things that I've witnessed, things that I've seen firsthand. But at the same time, you can't just go by what people say, because a lot of things are hearsay. Because some dude, like for instance, say like if I caught one of my buddies who's a rapper as well, his name is Marcus Madness. He's one of my fellow rappers. That I mean, we used to work together and stuff, but where he's gotten so busy and tied up with his personal life, I try not to bother him. But like one time, he was telling me, he says, dude, when you get that flow going, he says, don't stop it. He says, that's like holding out a water hose and you seeing it flow and then you just put your thumb over the hole and it stops. He says, no, don't do that. Just let it go. Just let it flow out. I was like, all right. And when we made a track together called Notice, like I was in a bad place at that time. And when that song first came out, he was like, dude, I've never experienced you just coming off the top like that. He says, did you even write that? I said, no, just top of my head. I just expressed on how you feel. See, that's the perfect part about music and being an artist and stuff, because it's not about rhyming words or what sounds good with the beat, or if this dude thinks it's fire, if this dude thinks it's trash and it belongs next to the trash bin next to Hillary Clinton's emails. But it's all about you telling the story. It's all about putting yourself in that genre, or putting yourself into that thing, giving people a visualization, saying, okay, this dude used to be 17 years old back in the day. He's running through woods and he's getting chased by wolves, but he's trying to find his way home. So in other words, you're just trying to, depict a story, no matter if it's truth or fiction. And you're thinking, okay, I see where he's going with this, and it's like, I mean, to be honest, like, I like upstate, type rappers. I don't just listen to southern rappers like myself. I listen to other people, I want to see what other people's doing. I want to see what they're, talking about or whatever. Like, it's one dude, he's from, where's he from? I think it's Queens. But I'm telling you, that dude, he's pretty good. I forgot what his name is, but I'm telling you, he's pretty good. Like, I was like, dude, I'm impressed, because he's basically talking about how he grew up from the streets. In other words, he don't care what people think about him, but he's basically showing people, hey, this is what I do and this is what I like. And if you don't like it, sorry, but not sorry,
Yeah, I mean, you don't believe
And
that's
like,
yeah. Okay, man. Yeah.
but it's like, with me growing up in the South and everything, being up here in West Virginia, a lot of people saying, "Oh, we beat you in the," and I'm like, dude, that was years ago, bro. Like, why are you going to talk about something that happened years ago? We weren't even a twinkle in our pops' eye back in the day. I mean, because I was born in the South doesn't mean you need to have hatred towards me. I mean, sure. I mean, I'm proud of where I'm from, and I support where I'm from. I mean, a lot of people that know me know that. But my thing is, I'm not just gonna throw the rebel flag in your face and say, "Hey, you have to be my friend if you don't. You can't be my friend if you don't like this," or "I don't want to be socialized with you if you can't." No, 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 no. Everyone's created equal. That's how I see it. The way I see the flag is one, it's a Southern heritage. Two, it's where I'm from, and three, I mean, as long as my friends, Eddie included, knows that I'm the type of guy that I'm easy to get along with. I'm a cool, easygoing guy, and very rarely do I ever get mad or ticked off or anything because it takes a lot to make me mad. But
Right.
at the same time, I don't take people telling me saying, "Hey, maybe you should try elevating your voice more. Maybe you should pick the beat up a little bit." I don't take that as them telling me how to write or do my music. That's called constructive criticism. In other words, there's always someone out there bigger and better than you. There's always someone that's been doing it longer than you. There's someone that's out there making more money than you. But at the end of the day, you can ask yourself, okay, what can I do better? What can
Right.
I do to make this thing pop? What can I do to make this go in people's ears to let them know, hey, this is actually all right. This is fire, Like my last song I did, like let me think of it. I got so many songs. Eddie knows I showed him my whole playlist. I've got a lot.
Yeah. All right, gotta
Let's
put
see.
that work
There's
in.
Skull. He's heard Skull. Like I was at work one day and I was like, everyone was asking me, "Hey, you okay? You okay?" See, it's when I'm talking, they're thinking, "Okay, Cody's just being Cody. That's just him." But then when they see me being quiet, that's when they worry. They're like, "Okay, that's not cool. He's quiet." Then my wife jumps in and says, "When he's quiet, don't bother him because when you do, the wheels in his head are going to start turning and he's going to start coming up with some off the wall, don't care if it hurts your feelings type stuff." Like, in other words, like people say, you're entitled to your own opinion. You're entitled to doing a lot of things, but you're either sorry for what you're saying and you want to do like for instance, Luke Combs, for instance. Like this guy was so like he was so engulfed about what he was doing. Like he was chilling with Upchurch and stuff like that, and all because people hated on him and called him a racist because he had the rebel flag sticker on his guitar. Okay, a lot of country singers and rappers from the South, like Lil Jon, Lil Boosie, Chris Brown, all them Southern rappers do the same thing. But at the same time, why are you going to try to flip the script and change because people are trying to condemn you or trying to make you think that, oh, that's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't. No, 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 no. My thing is, you're your own person. You do your own thing. And
Right.
you shouldn't care what anyone says about you. Like, for instance, Daddy Yankee. That guy he's pretty good. I like him. I've listened to him since I was a teenager. And that's how I try to pick up, my singing thing because there for a while, all I did was just rap. I'm thinking, okay, if I could just rap, I'll be fine. But at the same time, when he starts singing and stuff like that, it's like you may not understand what he's saying, but if you listen to his enthusiasm, the way his voice goes up and down and tries to flow out through the song, you're telling yourself, okay, this guy has heart. Because if you have heart and you have stuff to do things, then
Right.
you will make it. But at the same time, if you're going to sit there and feel sorry for yourself because of what that person said, then you might as well just quit while you're ahead. Because if you're going to let one person stop you, what makes you think that you're not going to let 10,000, a million, or 100 million, or even a trillion people stop you from what you're doing?
Right. Right. I hate to stop you from what you're doing right now. But I want before time goes on, I want to discuss one thing real quick because this is a music. I mean, this is off the topic of you guys, but this is a music thing that happened just yesterday. Everybody's talking about it, and I figure we should get on the train while it's hot. The R. Kelly situation. Ricky Rhythm. I want to know, what do you think about that? What do you think about 30 years? Do you think they stiffed him with it? Do you think that he deserves 30 years? Do you think everything that's been handed to him justifies the situation? What do you think? What do you think about that?
I think that if all the allegations were true, 30 years is justifiable. With the justice system being the way it is, he can always appeal that. His lawyer can appeal that. It could probably get dropped down to 10 times served with supervised, visits or whatever. But as far as it being handed down, they dropped the hammer on him. And sometimes that hammer needs to be dropped because you can't be somebody of that stature and have that level of star power and abuse it the way he did. That's an example set for anybody else who's thinking about doing the same thing. I think it's justifiable if everything is true from what he did.
Well, okay, now use that big word if. I got to tell you about that word if. Okay? That word if. I can't let you get away with that. If, do you believe that he did everything?
Okay, well you didn't ask me that. If
no, I don't know. I'm just saying. I didn't.
You asked me if.
I see. But when you answering that if kind of was like, well, he don't kind of believe everything that was put on the board. So what do you think? What do you think? What do you believe? Do you believe that he's not? Yeah, go ahead. Tell me what do you think?
I'm an unbiased person. Right. I don't think that there's one thing that leads to all answers. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it comes to the justice system, what you are judged by is what you can present. Right. If you can't present the truth, then you're gonna get slammed for the lies. You can't present the truth. What I believe, honestly, I believe that he had done most of the things that he was blamed for. I also believe that a lot of it was magnified.
Okay, that's what. Okay, now we're getting to where when you think of the if word, that most, the magnified. Do you think he is in trouble? Should be in trouble for the trafficking part? In trouble for being I like to say not a child. I'm not gonna go as far as being a child molester. But I'm gonna go as far as being statutory rape, like he did with Aaliyah. Do you think that was more than one occasion?
Oh, for sure. You don't just do it one time. When you're an offender, you're a repeat offender. Especially if you can get away with it. If you can get away with it, like this is just regular shit.
It's like blood in a pit bull's mouth. You gotta keep getting more.
Yeah, unless they put them down. If they put you down, you can't do it no more. But and especially if you got the cape on your back and you're feeling super and no one can touch you, you're gonna keep on doing it. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep doing it. And even when he got away with it, when he got away with that first case with the sex tape and all that,
he
got away with
for him.
That tells you, I'm Superman. You can't touch me. And then look what happened. Now you got 30 years.
Boom.
It caught up, man. Was done in the dark, comes back to the light, and the light shot right on his face.
So you think basically they were really getting that first offense, that first case without saying anything in. I'm sure that played a big part of him losing this case as well. Even though you can't after the case is closed or whatever, you can't reopen it. But that's still in the eyes of the law or whatever.
It
still
sways
there.
The decision. It sways the decision of the jury and whoever else because it like you said, you can't bring it back because it's already done deal, closed case. But the fact that you're being brought up for the same allegations again, that becomes a big factor to take into play. Yes, you've been in this position before. It's not like it's a first time. If it was a first time, then the decision is more on like what we have in front of us. But now when you bring it back, then you're like, wait, but he's been tried for this before, so there's got to be some truth to it. You know what I mean? That's what really hung him. You're right. It hung him because he's been in this position before.
And they talk about the music industry. So I know how you guys want to be in the music industry and stuff like that, but they talk about how the music industry, like you said, you rather do it, but you don't want to deal with people. You don't want to deal with the labels. They say that that's actually evil. You think that he was actually they use him as an example. You think that little by little everything's coming down to a whole. Everything one day everybody's gonna be tried for something. You think? I
Well,
mean, you
the
think
thing.
everybody's got something
Oh,
in the
oh,
industry that's wrong with them?
well, look, man. I mean, there's talk about certain things if that certain artists did just to make it to the level that they're at. Rihanna's,
It's,
Beyonce's,
it's
down the
somebody.
line.
I'm trying to ask for somebody's volume up a little bit or something. I feel like I hear myself mumbling, muffled.
I hear that too.
Yeah.
Ivan, what are
You
you
hear
doing?
that?
Sorry, one moment. Ivan,
A
Do
little,
you hear that?
but
Yeah,
like it's like like some of these mainstream rappers. That's because you're thinking to yourself, okay, this guy's getting a bunch of exposure from doing something that he claims he did, but it kind of plays a reference scene from Training Day. It's not about what you know, it's what you can prove.
right.
yep.
If that makes any sense. In
No,
other
that makes a
Well,
lot.
words,
yeah.
it's not
That
about.
goes in line with what I said
It's
before. It's
basically
black and white.
it's like it'll be like saying, okay, Cody X, he just murdered a dude. He shot him down in cold blood right there in his yard. That's what you know. But they go to prove that there was no shell casings, there was no gunpowder residue, there was no nothing. But you know deep in your side with your own eyes that you saw me shoot somebody. But at the same
Right.
time, you're thinking, okay, what can you prove?
Yeah.
But
Right.
the thing about, because me growing up and all that, when I started having people come around my house or whatever, like for instance, I could go to my boy Eddie's house right now. Say, hey, yo, what up, man? What's happening? Stuff like that. And if he's busy, he'll let me know ahead of time before I get too involved. He'll be like, hey, yo, I got some errands to run. I gotta do my thing, and I'll hit you back. And Eddie's a man of his word. I've learned this from knowing him, and I mean, Eddie's a cool dude. Like, if anyone tells me otherwise, I'm gonna be fighting because I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, don't be talking smack about my boy because that's my dude right there.
I
Like,
appreciate it.
Eddie's known me since I was in my previous marriage, which was, I mean, Eddie could see, like, he didn't even have to talk to me long. He could tell by my body language how I was talking, how I was acting. Like, you can ask him, like, I was in a very, very bad place. Like, I was in a dark state. Like, I was not human, in other words. Like, felt like I was being controlled by something, but I wasn't. Then when I broke free and I got with my lovely lady I'm with now, it changed a lot of things and opened a lot of doors. It gave me things that I couldn't get before that I can get now. Like,
Right.
for instance, I mean, when you have a lot of respect and a lot of compassion and a lot of loyalty to a person and you're just so friendly, you make friends anywhere you go. Like when I went on vacation year before last, we went to Charleston and I was like, okay, cool, no biggie. Charleston's not that big of a city. I mean, it's decently sized, but it's not huge. But so I go out there and I'm looking at my old lady. I said, okay, I'm making you a promise. No music. I'm on vacation. I can't deal with music right now. I'm, let my mind rest from writing all the music. Well, she sees me buy a notepad and a pen. She goes, you said no music. I said, I didn't say how. I said, what I did say was I wasn't going to record. I didn't say nothing about writing. She goes, and you got me there. And that's when Bullet Time came out. Bullet Time represents, like, I could break down each and every song that I've got. Like, there's one song that Eddie likes. I forgot which one it is because, like I said, there's a lot of them. But there's a lot of them that have a lot of meaning behind them. Like, we'll take one song, for instance. We'll go with Pop Sway. That's a song about me and my dad, how me and my dad became very strong in our relationship to this day. Like,
Right.
when I was like 5, 6 years old, my mom swore up and down my father had nothing to do with me. But to her astonishment and surprise, she realized that my dad would stay up all night because he worked night shift. And he would always be in the bed all the time during the day. And always be up, running the yard or the house or what have you, doing what I do best. Well, when my mom woke up one morning to go use the bathroom and get a midnight snack, she noticed that I was out of my crib and I wasn't there. So my mom's frantically looking for me. Where is he? Where is he? She looked like a crackhead trying to find a Suboxone clinic nearby. Like she was like going nuts. And I told her, I was like, hey, what's going on here? And my dad was holding me and we were watching professional wrestling when WCW was big back in the day. Like we would sit there watching TV all night. He would spend all the time he could with me all night before my mom woke up. And when my mom would wake up, he'd put me back in my crib, dead asleep, go back into bed like nothing ever happened, do it every night till finally she caught him. She goes, I thought you hated him. He goes, I don't hate him. You just misunderstood. I work all night. I sleep all day. And when I actually have time, I'm going to spend time with my boy. Then when I got to my teenage years, I kept telling my dad, I was like, Dad, I want to go hunting. I want to go fishing. I want this. I said, I'm not a city boy. I mean, I love the city. Don't get me wrong. You know, I like hanging out in the city and stuff. But when you're out in the woods, like we went camping day before yesterday. We went to Glade Creek. And we went out there and, like, I've never felt so more at home when I was out there in the woods because you have no social media, no cell phone, no nothing. And whenever, you know, everyone was looking at me, they were like, okay, who's this guy? Like, you know, we were out there just having a good old time and, you know, hanging out in the woods. And it felt like home because that's how I was raised. I was raised, you're in the woods, you know how to survive. I could, like, for instance, Eddie can hog tie me right now and take me deep in the woods somewhere, and I guarantee I'll find my way home because that's how I was taught. That's how I was raised.
That's good skill to have.
And like one time, me and a friend of mine, we went walking in Little Beaver, right? And they're going in circles, and I said, "What are y'all doing?" They're like, "We're lost." I said, "No, we're not lost." They're like, "How do you know?" I said, "Well, first off, there's a creek right there. We follow the creek, which is going right by our campground. So, yeah, we're not lost. We just followed it all the way back out, and we'll be at the camp." They thought I was lying, so they decided to humor me, and we followed the creek bed and right up at the campground. I said, "Tell me I can't navigate." Ha!
That's cool. But hey, listen, like I said, that was great. We're going at the end of our mark. It was a fast show today. But anyway, like I said, I like to do this again sometime.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Music definitely pays a lot of everything. You know, music has a lot to do with a lot of stuff. The next time we get on, like I said, next time we get on this, you're more than welcome to come back. You know, anytime. We're glad to have you.
I appreciate it, guys. Because I've been watching your podcast whenever you put me on it, and like one thing I can't get over, like it still makes me laugh to this day. Eddie can make a killer Hulk Hogan impression. I'm serious, bro. Like he is dead on with it, bro. And when I heard it, because I was watching the podcast, and he was like, "Let me tell you something, brother." And I'm like, "Are you serious right now?" I'm like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Eddie was astounding. Like when he first met me, he found out that I had more talents than just rapping and singing. I can do voice impressions. Sometimes my voice impressions will get me in trouble.
Right.
Like I go to the McDonald's where I work, and they screw up my order. Oh, I'm evil. I'll go there and I'll say, "Yes, can I get 2 double cheese with some fries?"
That's it was good. It was like I said, it was good to have you, man. This Cody X, and you know, as always, Ricky Rhythm there.
Yes, sir.
Me and him will be
It's good
back
to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Like I said, you come back.
It's been a pleasure,
man.
All right, man.
We'll see y'all. You have a good day, and thanks a lot for coming, man. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Y'all be good.
All right,
Yeah.
La siento.
Yes, sir.